pond in my garden. Do you have a pond in your garden? Do you know, at this time of the year, it is just thriving with life. Animals and plants. My pond's filled with rainwater, and the rainwater brings everything to life. Today, we're going to hear that Jesus used water to teach something very important that we should know. Did you know that we can only survive 3 days without water? Water is really important for us to live. We know when we're really thirsty and need a drink of water, don't we? Jesus is using water today to teach us an important truth about who he is and what he can do. Because water gives life to all things. Can you remember from last week that Jesus went to a very special festival called the Festivals or Tabernacles or Sukkot? There are many things that happen during the festival, but can you remember what Abby taught you that they made for the festival? That's right! Temporary shelters, a type of tent. During this special festival, the Jewish people remembered and celebrated how God had provided everything for their ancestors. He provided freedom from slavery, a place to live, food and water. The best water was the water that you found underground, and this was the type of water that flowed into Jerusalem to a very special pool. On the last day of the festival, there was a big celebration. The priests would leave the temple in Jerusalem and go to the special pool and fill a gold jug with water. They would then take it back to the temple, pouring it out onto the altar. Are you ready? Come closer to the screen. Now, can you play this game with me? Who can spot first the lady in the red cloak? What a celebration this was! There was music and people worshipping God, celebrating his promise that, like the water being poured out on the altar, God would pour out his love, forgiveness and the Holy Spirit on them through his Messiah he would send. But Jesus was at the festival too, and on that very last day, Jesus was in the temple and he shouted to the people, declaring that he was the Messiah. God would pour out his love, forgiveness and the Holy Spirit through him. The people just had to believe in who he was and what he would do. This is an illustration that shows us that being the Messiah, Jesus pours out into the lives of believers his love, forgiveness and the Holy Spirit too. The believer now overflows with the fruits of the Spirit. Can you name all the fruits of the Spirit? Why don't you have a go at this activity? It's fun to do. Pour some water onto some Alka-Seltzer tablets and watch it fizz. Or you can use clear vinegar, pour it onto some bicarbonate of soda and watch it overflow.
This Mento represents God, and this Coke bottle represents us and our lives.
I'm going to drop this Mento into the Coke bottle.
Go. As soon as we let God into our lives, he pours all his love in, the Mento, and it shoots back out of our lives to everyone and everything surrounding it. That's why Jesus sent his son Jesus to die on the cross on Good Friday, because of his love. Thanks for watching.
There were many people at the festival that believed in Jesus, but there were some people in the crowd that didn't like what Jesus had to say. The Pharisees heard the crowd muttering. The chief priests and Pharisees sent some officers to arrest Jesus, but they returned without arresting him. The Pharisees asked, "Why didn't you bring him to us?" The chief officers said, "No one has ever spoke like this man." "Have you been deceived?" the Pharisees said. "Have you seen any of us Pharisees believing in him?" They didn't like Jesus. They had too much power and money and fame to let Jesus come and spoil it for them. There's lots of important things that we can fill our lives with. Here's some. Can you name a few? But the most important, the Lord of our lives, should be Jesus. So remember to thank God for the water he provides and for Jesus, who, like this water, is essential for us to live the best lives that we can.